Hey everyone, Ms. Folk here, and I'm just going to go over really briefly how to go about this problem, as well as doing an example with a problem that looks just like this, since you haven't really done one quite like this yet. So you're going to go ahead and start off, obviously, where it says start, okay? And it says that we're going to draw arrows to show the path you took. That's fine, but if you do have a highlighter or a different colored pen or pencil, I recommend you use those just because it's going to be a lot easier to actually see your path. And I'll show you here in a second what I mean. The other important thing I want to say is make sure you are showing your work on a blank piece of paper, okay? I do not want your work on this actual maze. So I want a picture of your work on a separate piece and then a picture of this maze. And a couple of you have reached out to me saying that you don't have a printer. That's more than fine. Just make sure you're actually writing down the path in order on a separate piece of paper so I know you know which way you're going, okay? All right, so for this first problem here, we have 2x minus 1 equals 9. So to solve for x, I got to get that 2x by itself. So I'm going to undo subtracting 1 and get 2x is equal to 10. And then how do I undo multiplying by 2? I divide by 2 on both sides, and 10 divided by 2 gives me x is equal to 5. So again, if you're going to go ahead and do the arrow method, I would use a different color so you can clearly see your path you're taking. Or if you have that highlighter like I suggested, I would physically highlight your entire path that you're taking so it's really easy to see, okay? All right, now for a problem like this, you guys have done problems where you have x over 2 is equal to 2, something like that. So to undo dividing by 2, you multiply by 2 on both sides, and you get x equals 4, if that was our problem. It's the same exact idea when you have a bigger numerator. So notice here we have x plus 5 is in our entire numerator, but that whole thing is being divided by 2. So how do we undo dividing that entire thing? We're going to multiply. So again, we're going to multiply both sides by 2. Oops. And these 2's are basically going to cancel, right? 2 over 2 is 1. So I'm left with just my x plus 5 on the left is equal to 7 times 2, which is 14. Sorry, that got a little complicated with my first example. There we go. And finally, we just have to solve for x then. So how do I undo adding 5? I'm going to subtract 5, and I get x is equal to 14 minus 5, which is 9. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my highlighting over this way and then continue to follow along the path, okay? So I went ahead and had this first part of the path drawn for you guys. You guys go ahead and finish the rest. Obviously, if you get an answer that doesn't stem off of your problem, then you made a mistake, okay? Just make sure for the questions like I just did. So here's another one with a bigger numerator. Here's the few. Just make sure you're trying to undo. You don't want that denominator, so you're going to undo dividing by that number, okay? As always, please let me know if you have any questions, and I am going to be making you guys resubmit this if you don't get the correct path the first time, so please make sure you're putting genuine effort into this, okay? And I will be back with another video soon.